Jai Sadguru. I assume that all of you know about Amara Maharishi. Amara Maharishi, this article was relayed to me, or rather, this is what I had gained in my meditation, and this is a very profound subject. Nonetheless, it is the need of the hour, right? So, just to give you a little brief, small introduction of Amara Maharishi, he's a rishi. Nobody knows about him. Very few people know. It's all right, but some Bangalore people know about him. And he came as a householder this time, and he lived in a modern world. But his enlightenment and other things were very, um, you could, it was very uh, ancient. His wisdom is very ancient, means he got it a long time back. And the rishis are all the time managing the world, in the sense that the evolution of the earth, the humanity's collective consciousness, our evolution, environment, society, problems of society, problems of humanity, individual problems of people, they're all interrelated. While we look at the problems from our point of view, or we look at the world from our perception. While the rishis are on the top, they have a bird's eye view, and they can tell us the answers to the very complex problems. Since I told you I don't need to welcome, you all are welcome, and without wasting any time, I just wanted to come to the point. I assume that you know that today's meditation, or rather discourse, will take you to a great height. But before that happens, let me tell you who Amaraji was. So Amaraji's birth, or the first incarnation, is very ancient. We cannot even fathom, and I do not want to tell you the timelines and all, but they have done tapasya after they have realized God in themselves. And when they are doing tapasya, this means that after God realization, they have done tapasya for lakhs of years. So they have mastered lots of things. But what I have realized, or what I have known Amaraji as, or he is one of the many gurus that I have, who's not in the body, who's guiding me astrally. So he's a master of meditation, number one, and he has many other shaktis, or you could say he has the knowledge of how the earth was evolved, what we were, what was the psyche or mentality of man so many lakhs of years before, how the mentality got degraded, the correlation of our mentality and the environment. Now from here the discourse gets very interesting. Means they have researched and dwelled upon subjects like, of course, mind, the relationship of mind and the manifestation of thoughts. These are his forte. That what we continuously think or breed in our mind, and the thoughts, how they manifest. Now this is a very general thing. I'm telling you how thoughts manifest. This is just the title, right? Um they tell us that uh, obviously we are all divine, we have come from the divine, but since we have transgressed so many spiritual laws, we are now not in that divinity state, we are not in the divine state. So obviously they have compassion for us. So they tell us that, look, this is the complete picture of so many things. This is where you stand. This is the place from where you have to work. And since we are also perplexed by the situation of the world, and obviously then we are unhappy, we are not at peace, and when we try to make a place of ourselves in the world, we cannot even know who we are, what should we do. So all these things start affecting ourselves, our mind. Then he's also telling me, or many others who can communicate with him, that there is a way where uh, um, we can develop our mind to an extent that we can intuit, we can get all the answers, and we can slowly first, after meditation, we can communicate with the enlightened beings, and then we can also communicate directly with God. We can also bring down that much divinity in us. So they talk of very serious things. Therefore, I said, let's not have a prelude, let's not do all this. It's their precious time. And believe me, this discourse has not come without preparation. The Rishis were meditating in the afternoon for us, so that they could direct me and they could talk to you through me. This is the situation. This is the situation. So there was this article I was made to write. In fact, this is my meditation of early 2024, and all my articles, all my writings are my experiences, right? I have not gone anywhere to collect them, but I translate my experiences, rather very subtle experiences, into my discourses, into articles. So one day, this is the way I would like you to know about. I mean, I will not go word to word, but I'll love to explain to you. One day I was meditating in the morning, and then I experienced something which I had never experienced before. Means that I fell into such a deep state of peace, and it was like it had become permanent. The peace was locked. That means nothing was changing. I mean, I did not slide into, you could say, any kind of break, or I mean, it was too profound. It was like how you lock something and then it just didn't move. And I did not even look into myself. It was like as if this is a permanent state, right? And after that, he spoke to me, and such experiences feel like as if they have lasted very long, but they are for a few seconds. But the impact is very, very profound. So this is what he had told, which is the first part, or the first segment. He had said that now we'll have to relax ourselves, and don't allow any thoughts to sort of intervene, just listen. He had said that when nothing was made, this is what is written in Vedas, जब कुछ भी नहीं था, जब सृष्टि नहीं बनी थी, तब क्या था? This is right. So when the earth was not made, means when God did not have, when Paramatma did not have the sankalpa of Prithvi, what was there? There was just peace, right? And then when God thought, yani sankalp utha Ishwar mein, that there should be I should create a Prithvi or a creation in my reflection. So slowly the earth formed. But it didn't, the earth did not form suddenly. Even the Panch Mahabhut took a lot of time. It has taken almost 2.5 crore years to earth to form. So why these kinds of things are revealed to you? So that we know the sacredness of earth. That's what God tells us, Paramatma tells us. That I've built this earth or this universe with so much love and compassion. So back to Amraji, he told me, he showed me, he didn't even tell me, we don't talk in such a state. It is the experience that he gave me. So then he said, once once life was born, that means when the creation of earth happened, the first sound was Om. The first sound created was Om. But before Om was created and after Om was created, still there was nothing born. So all these states are very peaceful states. And he said that the peace that you have experienced just now, the peace that you have experienced just now is before Om was born. Think of that, before any creation had taken place. That means the way we chant Om is quite gross, like gross, whatever. It's very if our mind becomes very quiet, the divine sound Om, there is no one speaking, there is no one uttering this. It's just a vibration. And when it manifests as sound, then it takes the sound Om. But this is a very peaceful state, right? And then he told me that this level of peace you have got because you have donated more than, I've written something like 89 crore punyas to the world, and only then we can reach that state of mind. So why am I telling you this? This is an introduction to Amaraji, who can tell me all this and make me experience, right? So one is our introduction of ourselves as Atmas or Brahm or part of Ishwar. And then he told me the other side of the spectrum, the present day, where the world consciousness is very poor, there is too much agitation, and the collective thoughts of so many people which were negative, which were not good, which were of being self-centered, greedy, lustful, they all have manifested now. Means the current world is like that. So when human beings' thoughts deteriorate, so the first victim is the environment. Because when these thoughts manifest, the environment, that is our Prakriti, gets negative energies. One is the felling of trees and, in the name or for the sake of development, and we overuse nature, or we harshly handle environment. Because of that we suffer. One is that sustainability of earth, that issue we all know, we'll not go there. But there is another aspect of that. So why he explained two extremities, why he was telling me, look, this is the truth, this is who we are, and the present situation is very pathetic, it's very bad. Yet it can change, So we are the harbingers of those changes, or you could say we are the ones who can bring the change by transforming ourselves, or by practicing meditation, by being aware of our thoughts, by they don't, Amaraji doesn't talk of so many things like Indriyon ka vash, man ka vash. He doesn't talk like that. He tells us meditate, 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 meditate. Because I've learned from him that every meditation will transform your brain. Each meditation will transform your brain. So the change that we want outside in the world starts from us. We must learn to meditate. The restless mind, or whatever, the agitated mind, or the mind that has not been harnessed, the mind that has not been trained, the mind that has not been developed is a house of suffering. Why? Why it happens? Because like we say, Ishwar, Paramatma, Atma is Amar, it is immortal. The mind is also immortal actually. It will never die because it is a part of God. Now he's taken me further in this. So he said that the peace will go back to peace. Kindly know, it won't be a very linear discourse. It can't just go on in one line. I will introduce you to many things, then I'll try to explain something, and then we'll come back to it, and then in the end we'll understand, because this is a very advanced kind of discourse. And discourse means they have given us so much that my hands are full, and I'm just thinking how to transfer it to you. So this is the first thing he has said, that the vichar, the thoughts are dirty, the thoughts are contaminated. So it is contaminating. And how do our thoughts contaminate others? Because our thoughts are energies, they translate as energy. The thoughts are actually matter. So it translate the thoughts translate as energies, and then they generate vibrations, and they float. They can reach anywhere. And when a thought is born, it expands, it becomes larger, and when we repeat something, it gets denser. And after a few repetitions of more than 200 something number, it eventually manifests. So when it manifests means how do I explain this? The thought is manifesting, that it becomes a reality. It becomes a reality. So he's telling us that we all have vichar shakti, the power of a thought. So instead of not knowing that our thoughts are impacting us and the world, we must know that we can impact. So if we do the inverse, if we do the opposite, that if we do spiritual practices like meditation, contemplation, being quiet for some time, and objectively looking at your thoughts, and so many other things, but these are a few things. So when we do all this, then our mind gets very powerful slowly. It takes time, but it becomes slowly. And then we can also, you could say, select, or we can actually we enhance. I mean, I'm just taking a little time to sort of raise the level of what I'm speaking. The power of our thoughts increase. See, if I have a lowly thought, if I have a very materialistic thought, if I have a very poor quality of thought, I am not contributing anything to the world and to the environment. And in this post or this article, Amaraji was saying, the benefit of Om and the benefit of doing Yog, Dhyan, Pranayam, and the vibration of Om and the power of meditation. When we meditate, the foliage or the vegetation around us, right? When we meditate, the plants and trees around us, they live longer, they are healthier, and they can draw more pran and they give out more pran. Now think of it as the something contrary if you do, right? So we can change ourselves, and this is what he has told us, that we must be observant of our thoughts. And he wants Sugam Kranti, means if we want to change the world, the method that the Rishis are applying is they want the world to meditate. Because this is the only way to calm the mind. This is the only way to calm the mind and bring it inside, turn it inside. And raise the frequency of our thoughts. Raise the quality of our thoughts. And raise the power of our thoughts. So I have written that also. If I don't go word to word, that is called Suvichar. And he's explaining that the world is suffering because of avivek, lack of wisdom. If we don't earn wisdom, we are very unhappy, we are creating problem in the world, or we are creating suffering for ourselves. Because the chain of life and death will never end. It will always bring us lots of suffering, because the next lives or the corresponding lives or the subsequent lives that we are going to generate are going to bring us suffering. But if we do the reverse, that is, if we learn to meditate, or we contribute our good thoughts to the world, and those thoughts will manifest some, this is how they look at the world problem, and to enhance the world consciousness rather than do something in the physical world. Because now we will go a bit higher. It's not written here, but Amraji has been the son of Vishwamitraji many times, and together they are formidable. They are formidable. Because Vishwamitraji also is a master of all this what I am saying, right? So, like we are aware that a thought will never die until it is manifested, and if we clean our mind, that is through the process of sadhana, it will take time, it's okay, cleansing, purification. If we start cleaning the mind, the layers which are deposited will start melting. It's like they break away, those particles in the mind, the dense particles, they they actually disintegrate. So they are saying that if all the mind is cleaned, made, you could say, the basically will have to undergo lots of, you could say, prarabdha or destiny. You can't evade that. But he wants us to at least know that if we go in the depth of our mind, there exists a permanent presence of Om and the peace that we have. So we don't, at that stage, we don't have to do much. It's just that I'm radiating that energy. So wherever I go, I'm radiating the divine frequency. So if I'm emitting that divine frequency, wherever I go, everyone is benefiting. I mean, this is an epitome. I know we are talking of the ultimate. So even if we don't reach that immediately, but somewhere we can do something. At least we should like bring about some change, right? So I didn't want to do it word by word, but I thought I'll tell you that, see, one is Yug Parivartan. That's what he has explained. When this planet Earth was slowly made over more than 2.5 crore years ago, Vibrations were deeply embedded in each atom. Every atom that was created by Paramatma had peace was embedded in every atom. That means in every atom of our physical body, in our subtle body, in our causal body, we can embed Om now. We can embed the peace that we are talking about. Vibrations of unrest or agitation were unknown during the formation of the earth because only peace was prevalent in all particles. The whole cosmos was silent. Amaraji is talking of silence. That why don't you touch that silence? Now, even if you, like I'm saying, I knew it is the presence of Amaraji who introduced me to the ultimate peace. His presence itself made me very calm. And he locked my state that, there was a continued peace. So, but I'm a witness. I am telling you, I've experienced it. So it exists. So if not today, even if you experience it after thousands, lakhs of years, it's worth experiencing. Wait till you get this experience. It's a very beautiful experience. Because that's Ishwar, that's Paramatma. Shanti is Paramatma. God exists as peace. So he's saying that vibrations of unrest or agitation were unknown during the formation of the earth. Means even when earth was being formed, even when earth, there was no vibration. That means when humans came, the first agitation was created by a human being. Because if Prakriti was there, Prakriti cannot cause any unrest or any frequency that disturbs. Because agitation caused by the mind will disturb the peace or the vibrations of peace in us and around us. Even if you don't use the words, we're not talking of words, we're just talking of ourselves. Means if we connect ourselves as Atma, as soul, we are that. We are peace. We are that. Even if you have not experienced it, it's okay. But relate yourself. The belief, the deepest belief we should have is this. And when you meditate next time, remember what you've heard, what you have experienced now. We can meditate in the end. Right? The universe had vibrations of only one sound. That was the first sound, Om. This sound was manifested to heal and give peace in case any vibrations of agitation was initiated. This is such a beautiful line. This is the hour of God. So many things I'm discovering about Om. 2 days back in Udupi, when we had a satsang, I had told you about Om, right? Markandeya Maharishi, she had told me about Om. I'll repeat because some of them were not there. He gave me such a wonderful experience. He said, he didn't say, he actually gave me the same experience of Om. These are all the same thing. It can come from any source. It can come from Markandeya Maharishi or whatever. Since some of you were not there, that how we were formed, or how did we take birth? How did God create us? How does it happen? So even before our creation took place, there was our sankalp, or we wanted a physical body, or we wanted to descend on earth. So we sought permission. Correct? And God gave us the permission that we can. Okay. But nothing was formed. Nothing was formed until then. And only divine rays came, right? Now this is when conception hadn't taken place. Only the divine rays had come. I mean, they were there, and the permission was granted. And Om sound was created. It was a tinkle, it was a sound which nobody heard. Now the Om sound was the consent. In the form of consent came Om. And that sound, or the permission of God, called Om, it's not so loud as I say. It's just a vibration. That the sound of Om, after the sound of Om was uh, generated, or I don't know, these are very solid words, right? So after that, after Om was, we can't say spoken, but Om was when Om was, I don't know what word to use, pronounced, said, or whatever, then that Om was the permission, and that permission was given to Panch Mahabhut, that you can start the process of conception. Means a new life can be created. The first starting point will be divine rays, consent of God, and then the formation of manas. So one of the constituents of our manas are the 5 elements. And then the formation of the physical body came. So an introduction was given to me by Markandeya Maharishi, that look, this is who you are. And after that he says that look at your first thought when you were ever born. They're full of love and compassion. Now harness them. So Amraji is saying something very similar, that open your mind. Go there, go down. Whatever pious, whatever noble you have, generate that. Take it out. Or at whatever level any good thought is there, anchored, deposited, take out that. Harness that. And manifest that. This is what the Rishis are doing. This is what I'm trying to say. This is the power of a thought. So before any agitation was created in this universe, there was just peace, there was just Om, and that is what we are, right? And then he's saying that we have aberrations, means our mind is not perfect. So when we want to recover from the aberrations, or the you could say corruption of our mind, he's used a very gentle word, aberration, but it is actually corruption. So if you want to undo that, he says that you should generate that kind of peace. That means this is the fastest way to cleanse your mind, because you are touching God as peace in you. And he's saying the Rishis who are immortal and are meditating since eternity, they emit rays of very profound peace. These rays reach the people and the universe. World Reformation must take place in this manner by meditation. He's saying it's a very sublime way of changing the world, that I meditate and the world is changing. Correct? And I would like to, it can be ignored in the sense you can read it yourself. There is nothing that you would not understand. The world is in a poor state of spiritual consciousness, and that's called avivek. I'll explain things which need to be highlighted. Now, the thoughts of people, I'm going to part C. He's talking of avidya. Now, what is avidya? Why is he calling it is avidya? Why is there so much turbulence? Why is there so much problem? So he's calling it as that they all want to fulfill their long cherished, unfulfilled desires and vasanas. So there is this problem of conflict, fights, or unhappiness, or instability. So basically, this you can manage. I don't need to explain word to word. I'd like to explain things which you've not heard before, or which you think I must explain. So I'll go to part D, the role of the Rishis in the world, Suvichar. The Rishis watch over the world and its development silently. They have been assigned the task of bringing back order, harmony, and stability. They ensure the earth must not perish. If the earth is left to us, it can perish. We can degrade it. Collectively, we can finish it. That's what we call pralay. And their meditation can, these are very subtle things he's talking about. See, people are emitting vibrations, frequencies which are harmful. So he's saying when we meditate, when we collectively meditate, those harmful frequencies are deleted or obliterated, or they are finished, otherwise they'll manifest. So the tasks of the rishis is this basically, that when they feel that there is someone's thought which is somewhere, it's a very old vasana, and that it is time for that vasana or that destructive thought, especially they like to eliminate as far as possible the probabilities of war, the probabilities of harming animals, environment, people's health, all these issues they try to finish, right? And due to that, the vibrations in the holy person like you, my child, an aberration is caused in the energy field. He's telling me that look, even your energy field sometimes gets contaminated and aberration. That means the DNA in my cells, they get disturbed, and they start emitting disharmony of frequencies, and there could be a possibility of a disease or a sickness or some uneasiness or sick, or you know what I'm saying. So he's saying that we can improve that state. The moment you feel that you're not feeling well, and there is some kind of change that has happened in your energy field, meditate. That's for you also. It's not only for me. Then he is speaking about me, that my role and contribution as a silent world leader is in world reformation, and these are good lakshan, achhi baat hai, and he wants me to continue doing. And he's saying that at the base of my mind I have always had very good thoughts. So it's a sense of in a way he's trying to tell you all also that you must also do, because I'm living. So you can see, while Amaraji is not here, so many people can't even fathom what I talk. And this post I knew would be very solid, grave and profound. It cannot be enjoyed by everyone, but it's all right. This is for serious sadhaks, because it is so abstract. And he says, my success rate is 75%, which I feel is a very high rate. Otherwise, other people, I mean, it's not easy to change anyone's mind, right? And then this part I thought I'll share with you. Part two, part A, unknown benefits of meditation. This we must read because no one will tell you the kind of benefits that Amraji will tell you about meditation. Meditation is compulsory to practice lifelong in all lives to know Parameshwara and to retain the memory of God realization for above said two objectives. You must always remember. Means when we meditate, the memory of God in us revives because the mind becomes quiet. So, when the world was not so agitated, that means when we talk of, say, a few lakh years back, maybe 4 lakh years or 3, something like that, huge time back, push time back. And since we are in Kali Yuga, so think of time when there was not so much disturbance. So it was very natural for us, all of us, to meditate. And as far as I can imagine, we didn't do anything formally. Meditation means being a gentle person, being a quiet person. And like Markandeji said about Kashi, it was such a beautiful thing. He said that in Kashi, that means when our forefathers were in Kashi, people ate less and spoke less. Bang on. They ate less, they spoke less. And it was normal for them to meditate. So the race to achieve something, the race to, and then, it's like if someone is a headless chicken and always, so you also start becoming like that person, and the anxiety, the restlessness, and the for no reason being uh, restless. So meditation is a bridge to connect the mind of an individual to the supreme consciousness of the universal one God or Paramatma. The infinite powers of the Supreme lie undiscovered by people. I mean, I love these lines. I love them when they say something like this. It's like they feel sad that we don't even know. We know only of the material world. We have only discovered the matter. We have never discovered spirit. So he's saying, come to this side. Look. The infinite powers of the Supreme lie undiscovered by people. Now he'll talk of the undiscovered powers given to us by Paramatma. And he's telling us to discover them ourselves through meditation. This defined peace is what existed. See, I've explained to you. He told me, look, the peace that you have got now is that existed when God just created the earth. Even after the earth was created, man did not come on the earth. There was a continued peace. Imagine who would disturb that peace is the question. Na? We the people. So he's saying, get used to it. No. We can't experience something about which we either don't know or about which we don't make any effort. So he's saying, try to have an experience of that peace again. And what was that? This defined peace is what existed when God just created the earth, and it existed as the earth was being formed. Before the earth was being formed, there was this peace. When the earth was being formed, before the earth was formed, and as the earth was formed, there was nothing or nobody to create this agitation. And the earth was being formed in 2.5 crore years. 2.5 crore. यानी 2.5 crore वर्ष तक शांति थी. Non-stop. And I mean, just go there in time and space. Take your mind there. that it could be so peaceful. Even now think of these things. This is what Amaraji had told me in 2018, that the sankalp of God, yani the initiation or the thought of God of creating this earth or something where there would be so much life, was born 44 crore years back. And Amaraji has taken me there. What it felt like 44 crore years back. Means even before God did not have this thought, it was so peaceful. When he said, okay, I'll create, but he waited for 44 crore years, it was peaceful. Then 2.5 crore years to make this earth, it was peaceful. And then he created Om. Look at what he has said. Some of you, obviously I don't expect you all to know, but just a few of us who are here, who are with me for a long time. And when I made this, I had written this post, and in 2 days I came to Bangalore, and I did a post of Amaraji. He likes me to do his posts here in Bangalore. So I had spoken about Amaraji, and this is what I'm saying. So it's a recall. I'm trying to revive what I have said about him in 2018. Then also I had asked him a few questions. This is from my earlier posts of 2018, when I told him that I don't know what people tell me to give meditation. I must give them a technique. Whenever I was coming to Bangalore, people were, when whoever came, they said, give us a technique. And I had no technique to give them. They wanted a technique of meditation. So I had asked Amaraji, what technique? People ask me, I have no technique, I don't know. So he said, don't do anything, just sit down to meditate. That's it. Now, is anyone doing any technique just now? He's talking of what? So the remembrance of such highly evolved souls will calm your mind. So this divine peace is what existed when God just created the earth, and it existed as the earth was being formed in 2.5 crore years. One can only achieve this feat if you have donated punyas worth 94 crores for the reformation of this world. Such a quality of peace can wash the sins of 64,000 people in minutes, just 2.5. He came to take my punyas. This is what he's saying. He took my punyas. God must have sanctioned, or God must have taken, and he came to tell me, look, this much has been withdrawn from your account. They are very subtle. 94 crores punyas we need to donate for World Reformation. And then we experience this, which could be not even a minute actually. Minute is very long for such experiences, but they seem infinite. Such a quality of peace can wash, and when I experienced this, that means I have washed the sins of 64,000 people in just 2.5 minutes. This is the work of the Rishis. You are writing this post with indescribable peace of mind on 15th February 2024 at 58 minutes past 7 a.m. after meditation of an hour. Should we continue or? Huh? Okay. Athak Purusharth. Spiritual practices give us the power to know the hidden secrets of the sublime world. The practitioner must be properly prepared by the master, and the disciple must allow the master to mentor and guide. Now the role of the teachers, the masters. They say means when you meditate or when you do a sadhana, then don't restrict yourselves with your own thoughts. Don't have reservations. Don't negotiate. Don't put conditions. Don't say, I would like to. No, that's your ego. So when you drop everything, I mean your ego, your likes, dislikes, and you just become a vessel. You just allow. I was not prepared for this. It was a normal day. I was meditating, and this is the experience I got. So it's a very unconditional. I will not say it's a surrender. It's not a surrender. It's just being. It's just who you are. That's it. So it's a very beautiful state to be in, and it's a very beautiful experience which opens the door to possibilities for others also to attempt. At least we should know, even if it's a rare experience, one should know. And then he's talking of athak purusharth, that you must continuously do efforts. Don't give up your efforts. Should we read? And if someone feels it's getting heavy or you don't want to, you let me. Correct? Tell me if there is any, or if you have questions, we can address it. I mean, we'll do it in the end. So obviously, when not you but someone say who this is actually an unpublished post. I have not uploaded it yet, but if I publish it, obviously the people who read, the first question is, it sounds good, but these practices are hard and why should we do it? So he's telling that spiritual practices give us the power to know the hidden secrets of the sublime world. Here it gets very interesting. He will tell us things about our vichar, our man, and so many things. I mean, these are the discoveries that happen when we become very quiet in our mind and we continuously do our sadhana. And mind you, it's not of one life. That's what I had said in the beginning, that he's a very primitive sage. That means his practices are very old. It's like an infinite purusharth or tapasya he has done. So he's talking to us from that very high state. And tomorrow, since we want to do meditation in Mansa, so it is good that you listen to this post and go and meditate there, because there are so many newcomers here. Just don't go and sit there and say that it's a nice place, because people will only touch the boundary of it and not get into the depth. So he's actually telling that even before you come to meditate in my place, his place called Mansa, you need preparation. So this is your preparation for tomorrow. And allow the master to mentor and guide. Continuous supply of divine energies in the form of prana shakti supplied to the shishya by the guru or master, the disciple must retain a positive and patient attitude always. The depleted energies will be replenished with time. Right? Incessant hard work on oneself and reformation of one's body, mind and soul should be done continuously, as the world is constantly changing because of the collective consciousness of the people in the world. And don't expect the world to change. Very few people are going to change. But the people who are not changing and are still emitting negative vibrations or thoughts in the world, they are going to impact you. Remember, because they are opposing you. Unknowingly, indirectly, they are opposing you because they are adevik shakti. Well, we are arousing devik shakti, divya shakti. So it's like how you have gravity or how you have other physical forces, that when you do something, they try to stop you or they hamper or you have to transcend that. So he's saying that it's not going to be easy. It's athak purusharth. So when you progress, there is a opposite force which is going to oppose you. Those who contain deflection and refrain themselves from falling into an abyss of delusion by continuing their spiritual practices with sincerity, they will sustain the long path undertaken for world reformation. Means, he's not saying that you reform the world, he's saying reform yourself. So the world is reforming, but it is a sustained effort. And those who can, he's not saying control, he's saying contain deflection. Means the mind gets deflected. You know how the rays of sunlight or light gets deflected. So where it should be, the focus gets deflected. Like, there is deviation, there is deflection. So he's saying you have to contain that. He's not saying control. Control is the wrong word here. So when your mind gets deviated or there is delusion, there is deception, he's saying contain it. Those who can do, they will sustain, right? Or if you given, then you will also go along with those negative energies. I have chosen you and some of your disciples in my pursuit with the blessings of my divine father, sage Vishwamitra, to reform the world, to fulfill the wish of Paramatma. This planet Earth must be green and very peaceful. It will happen, but it will take a lot of time. So now this is what I thought I will surely include in my discourse, in my lecture today, and that is Prana Shakti, Sankalp Shakti. So the subtle life forces or Sukshma Pran must be harnessed by reinforcing regenerative positive thoughts. Pran Shakti, Sankalp Shakti means our thoughts have prana. And first, I have already discussed that we should have positive thoughts. And positive thoughts means one is the positive attitude or the aim of the thought, the intention of the thought. How does a thought or in this thing, how does it become negative or positive? If it is constructive, it is positive. If the intention of the thought is negative, it is destructive. It will destroy you first and the world or the other people later. And our thoughts have Pran Shakti. So, to harness more Pran Shakti in our thoughts, one is the quality of thoughts, one is the quantity of prana in our thoughts. You're getting it? Yani, see, people are feeble. I say today, I resolve that tomorrow I will do this. I hardly have any Pran Shakti in my resolution. It will never happen tomorrow. Willpower. So when we say someone has a strong willpower, that means that person has very positive thoughts and that person also has lot of prana, life force. We may think, but to execute that we need Pran Shakti. What he was telling, it's so wonderful to know the sublime world of God and ourselves. He started speaking now. Ye bata rahe कि meditation का फायदा क्या है? Why do you have to do? So it will increase our Pran Shakti, that is our man will get strong. When we were born, we came with an enormous collection. Yani when we were all born this time, we were born with an enormous collection of gross and subtle energy in the form of physical, mental and emotional energy. Only a few are born with spiritual energy. Means they did not do any abhyas or they did not do any purusharth, they did not do any sadhana. So when they are born, they don't have spiritual energy. So here the diversion or the bifurcation happens. But he's saying don't lose hope, you can do it. The spiritual energy lies intact inside our soul. Not that they don't have it, but it is locked. They did not develop. Those who don't have it, those who are not born with spiritual energy, that means they did not develop it earlier. So there is a deficit. The spiritual energy lies intact inside a soul and in the form of very positive, noble and regenerative thoughts and wishes waiting to be harnessed with meditation and incessant effort and work. Means what is the spiritual energy? That some people have very brilliant thoughts, they have very positive thoughts. So it's only a matter of time when all things are conducive, all things are perfect, the outer circumstances are perfect, and those thoughts will be harnessed and those thoughts will manifest. Like if you look at the lives of rishis and all, well, look, I can tell you my own life. This is the kind of work I wanted to do, which I'm doing now. Change the lives of people. I didn't want to do charity or donating things, food and all that, because that can be done by anyone. That's easy. These are the thoughts which were at the base of my manas, to know myself and to help people to realize themselves, or just to tell them what it is to have a divine life. Our thoughts contain energy of a very subtle kind. If we meditate for a prolonged period, the positive thoughts of welfare of the world in particular carry maximum subtle life force or sukshma pran shakti. That's why we see yogis who haven't eaten for a long time, or they are sick but they can recover like this, or with their wishes or with their thoughts they can make people all right with their blessings. So what has gone? What has gone from one to, like from one to the other? It's this sukshma pran shakti. Means the energy of thoughts which was embedded very deeply inside their mind. Means they really felt that okay, that person must become okay. It's a very strong thought, so it will manifest. When the noble philanthropic desire is enabled to materialize by incessant practice of spiritual divine acts by any person with the wish of God, a large pool of subtle life force is generated inside a noble person. Means when someone has very noble and like कल्याणकारी विचार किसी के मन में आते हैं, तो जब वो विचार करता है तो उसके मन में बहुत प्राण शक्ति पहले ही पैदा हो जाती है, उसके मैनिफेस्ट होने से पहले ही. This is what he's saying. Imagine you have not done that, but you already have that pran, sukshma pran shakti. One is sthul, like I can run 100 miles, that's my sthul pran shakti. But vichar shakti always have very subtle pran shakti. Means they have different set of nadis, and they are generated by eating some other kinds of foods, and it is also generated and acquired from the thoughts of the rishis, with the thoughts which are floating. If we can gather those thoughts or their inspiration or God's wish, so this is ati sukshma pran. One is sukshma pran, one is sthul pran, sukshma pran, ati sukshma. One is ati sukshma, means very subtle, but very powerful. But they're very powerful. So this is the main thing he wanted to tell us, the benefits of meditation, that you will have this. And see how nice, how wonderful it will be. You will be so useful for the world. Because you're not doing anything in physical world, you just, prayers, they say, have such powers. So even our thoughts have so much power. But we cannot generate positive and good thoughts unless we meditate, mind you. See, this is the contrary thing. This is the, you could say, very उल्टी बात जिसको हम बोलते हैं, ये एकदम विपरीत बात है कि जितना चुप रहेंगे उतनी ज़्यादा शक्ति है. People think that unless we wrestle some, or there is an exchange of words, or we show our physical strength. But he's anyway talking of transformation of the collective consciousness of the world. And I would like to read one more thing, that is Dhyan Shakti. Since tomorrow we'll all do Dhyan. Repeated actions of ignorance, avidya, performed in 94 lives by people, produce permanent dark holes of negative energy in the ether. the Rishis dispel them. I'll repeat. Repeated actions of ignorance, avidya, performed in 94 lives of people. I mean, one person, if any person has ignorance and the actions are produced due to her or his ignorance, and if this is continued for 94 lives, I'm talking of one X person, and we have millions of them. So, if a person has ignorance which was not contained, or which was not removed, which was not dispelled, which was not uh, uh, eradicated, and if the ignorance was carried forward in 94 lives, such a person will produce a dark hole. It's like a contaminated dark force somewhere hanging. It will be inside him or her, and it will also hang in the ether. So the Rishis watch over it and they can see the formation. So as soon as they feel that this is going to be permanent, they dispel it by their power of meditation. Spiritual ignorance is lingering, it can last indefinitely. You must all know. One must address it as soon as possible because it is not only infectious but malignant too. Break the cyclic pattern of repetitive ignorance. When a group or big cluster of large community collectively do harmful deeds in the world because of their repetitive cyclic patterns of spiritual ignorance, their harmful vibrations begin to collect in a space over the earth. The air, water, food, crops, and general health of a place deteriorates drastically, impacting the population adversely. The immunity of all the living beings becomes low, and the pran shakti of a place depletes. The Rishis are forever keeping an eye on the formation of such dark holes since its birth or inception. A very vicious thought or correspondingly an action supplementing that thought starts the formation of the dark force. When the dark hole becomes unusually large and decisive, the Rishis meditate collectively in the early hours of the morning and burst the collection of the dark forces. This is the power of the meditation of the Rishis. Otherwise, the earth will perish. So he's saying, why don't you also do it on the earth? So you are doing world transformation. When, okay, I hope it's about me. I thought we could ignore this. I think we'll finish at this, or maybe some lines here and there, and then you can read, or you can ask me if you've read it. Okay. Sankalp Shakti, Kriya Shakti. He's telling about me, your role as a silent world teacher with the power of your positive thoughts and actions. Sankalp Shakti, Kriya Shakti. When you were small, from the age of 3, you thought differently. You wished to ascribe your days to constructive and interesting activities. You even did tasks at home meant for children above the age 11 or more. Your exceptional hidden qualities went unnoticed because the piercing eyes of a qualified person are mandatory to find and hunt exceptional subtle life force in activities of exceptional people around them. Your resilience is extraordinary, the quality of thoughts outstanding. Since inception, you were born with a very large pool of spiritual energies intact in your soul. Serendipity is the best and suitable word I have chosen for you. We, the Rishis, were absolutely delighted at your birth since we knew nobody, not even the nearest relatives, would ever recognize your worth because you are such a humble and noble soul. We were honored to have you in our constellation of enlightened souls. You are today the world's torchbearer. You have lit the world with the dazzling light of illumination of the ancient seers of yore. We love to sing the glory of Paramatma through you. You love to speak about us to whoever is receptive. Our mission of Yug Parivartan is being accomplished by you. Yeah. Would you like to listen to some more? Hmm? All right. If someone wants a break and go out, I don't mind. But what I say, you must take it home well and not forget. If you want to listen to a small capsule, it's okay. But I feel this is too engrossing, one can't leave it. Okay. And this is the third part, third segment, part A. Why have you been chosen to propagate a new wave of silent revolution by us? This he had told me in 2018 also, that you are doing a silent a movement, which he says is Sugam Kranti. One is the what a Tivra or something, and this is Sugam. There are two types. One is a revolutionary kind of work, while this is a silent revolution. Hmm? Since aeons, Paramatma has been waiting to revolutionize the collective consciousness of the world, because it was already known that a time in Earth's evolution will arrive when the environment will be dismissed and destroyed fully. It happens during a phase when the moral and spiritual values of humanity are totally down and decimated to zero. The minds of people are brazenly indulgent in prohibited karmas. Such collective minds dissipate the life force of plants around them. This is what I have told you in the beginning, that when our actions are bad, the pran shakti, and this is what Dhanvantri ji had told me about Ayurveda when I was doing some kind of treatment, and then he said that okay, take these medicines, you'll become okay, but you'll take longer. So I said no, I felt I got healed, or I got therapy very fast, like I feel okay. He said no, the quality of the herbs has gone down. The quality of Ayurvedic medicine that you're taking now is poor. In olden days, the quality of these medicines was much higher. That's because the soil, not we don't talk of, they don't talk of only pollution and all. He said that there is no pran shakti in the herbs because you people's thoughts are bad. So when we have destructive thoughts, the quality of crops, the quality of soil, the quality of water, the quality of air, everything gets polluted and dilapidated. It gets like decimated. Conversely, dhyan and samadhi increase the flow of pran in the vegetation around the yogi by being instrumental in pran's flow towards vegetation. Means when we meditate, when we are a yogi, when we meditate, our pran shakti is also directed towards the vegetation. That means we are doing the world reformation in a very sublime way. The foliage is responsive to the positive vibrations of dhyan and samadhi. The oxygen amount inside the vegetation increases. The power of your meditation has been increasing day by day. You have practiced the spiritual activity in many births before. The depth and duration of samadhi has multiplied many times. Meditation is your medicine. It is your relief from all worldly suffering. The vibrations of peace of your meditations reach very far, up to 394 kilometers over your house. The suffering dead souls reach out to you to convey their thanks. Their souls are getting redemption with your power of meditation. They get peace. Then, what are spiritual energies? Where are they located? How to harness them? He's saying meditate, so he's saying, okay, I'll tell you where your Shaktis are. Divya Shaktiyam. You have asked me today what are spiritual energies, because he said that spiritual energies are locked in a soul when we are born. This is what he had said. You have physical energy, emotional and intellectual, whatever. All these other energies are there. And something about which we don't know, they are the spiritual energies. But they are locked in the soul. You have to unlock it. You have to open the lock. You have asked me today what are spiritual energies and what were yours in your childhood. Because he praised me, so I said, I don't think so. I had anything special about me. Did I have any spiritual qualities? Because my environment didn't contribute anything, and no one noticed that I was exceptional. So he said, okay, I'll tell you. How did these spiritual energies contribute to your spiritual spurt and growth incessantly? How to preserve such rare energies in humans? See, we all can find prodigies, we can all hunt, or we can all point out to exceptional people right from the beginning. They have something, but there are some things which are special in some people, but since, like in the beginning, he said that there was no one to know that these are the rare things. So, this is also an indication to us that when we have our children or grandchildren or someone in the family, we should not always look at the report cards and things like that, or something like the physical strength or something which he can manifest. There are some sublime Shaktis or some, Divya Shaktis which are very, very, very silent, which are very subdued, and we should be able to recognize them. So I asked him that what have I done? So it has taken you more than a decade to accept that you have been extremely outstanding and exceptional in your spiritual journey. It is today on 15th Feb 2024 at 10 minutes past 1 that you have fully acknowledged to me that indeed you have been extraordinary since the beginning. Humility, forbearance, resilience, contentment, courage, and deep compassion towards friends and needy people were exceptional qualities overlooked by your near and dear ones. Forgiveness, love, and peace were never recognized by any one of them. So that's what we measure people in: success, money, power. These are the success yardsticks. But the rishis and the yogis look at us differently. That are you courageous or are you fearful? So if you're courageous, you're exceptional, but not for a bad intention. Always have a good cause to be courageous. And do you have compassion for others, or are you greedy and selfish? Do you have mercy on others? Do you forgive people? So these are great qualities. And when our children show that, we must encourage. Or if they don't have, we must inculcate. Your insatiable desire to learn endlessly and practice whatever achieved, all have gone unnoticed by the ignorant. Your remarkable memory and sublime observation of body language was known only to the rishis. These spiritual energies are earned by sincerity and concentration in performing actions. They are also punya or virtues because the goal to be achieved is selfless. These energies are in the middle and lowest areas of the manas mind. They are procured with spiritual practices alone. So these are also our Shaktis, and we must recognize, we must harness, we must appreciate. We must not compare children when they don't have some things which the world thinks they must have, or if they have something which the world has not yet considered to be exceptional. We must teach our children to practice all these things, right? But this is true. I was a very good learner, so no one told me that it's a good quality. Like, I will never give up until I get that. If I've decided I want to know this, I want to learn this, I will never stop. I will never say it's okay, or I won't give up. So if I was not giving up, this was a quality जो अब बाद में जाके अथक पुरुषार्थ में कन्वर्ट हुआ. Because to know God, to know what I'm saying, it takes lives and lives and lives. Each life contributes just a little bit till you reach your destination. And little bit of a few lines. I thought some of you would be interested. Then I asked him, what is the future of India? What's the future of Bharat? What is the future of India or Bharat and Sanatan Dharma in context of its success and longevity? Will this survive? Will this sustain? Or will it perish? Correct? The future of Sanatan Dharma born in Bharat more than 1 crore years ago. Okay, there's a difference between Sanatan and Jyotimar, which he'll explain. The future of Sanatan Dharma born in Bharat more than 1 crore years ago is safe and secure. No Shakti or power can demolish it or wipe it out slowly because its roots are like a banyan tree. Sanatan Dharma has always been immortal. This phase, this phase is an aberration due to only once Vishesh Kalyug in all earth cycles because of the morbid world consciousness. However, this temporary reversal cycle of degeneration is being turned around by many light workers, the Rishis. It will take no more than 9,000 years to bring about a total change in the environment and the world population. The problem is also the world population. So you're saying it will take almost 10,000 years. That's the time of Satyug then. It will take no more than 9,000 years to bring about a total change in environment and the world population. After 532 years, the planet will start having more trees than humans. After 532 years, the planet will start having more trees than humans. The vibrations of the people of the world will change. We are also agitated or at an unrest because we don't have forests. We have very, very few trees left. So if we have more trees or we have more forests, automatically we will be quiet because Prakriti or nature emits peace. It calms us because it gives us more prana. We are reducing pran shakti from the earth by felling trees. That will create restlessness and greed. Because when we lose our peace of mind, we have a tendency to decline. Then the question I asked him, so he has put it nicely, why have you been chosen to propagate a new wave of silent revolution by us? I asked him, why me? Yeah. So this you have done. Then Sanatan Dharma. And the last part is very interesting. Yug Parivartan, like we are at a time and cycle by Yug Parivartan, means we are in transition. So there is lot of unrest and you could say turmoil, conflict. There is a pull of two powers. It's like who will win? Both the Shaktis are fighting to succeed in winning the situation. Yug Parivartan, the wheeling of the era of deception, greed and ignorance will decline, and regeneration of virtues means the world cannot revive itself. There can be no reformation in the world unless we bring morality, unless we bring the virtues, unless we bring the spiritual laws back into our lives. They'll pick up after 294 years. I'll read again. Yug Parivartan, the wheeling of the era of deception, greed and ignorance will decline. It won't finish. It will decline. And regeneration of virtues will pick up. Means something will decline and something will pick up. But it will pick up after 294 years. Note that today's interim period is of strife, violence, and conflict. Today's interim period of strife, violence, and conflict are untold. It has never happened like this before, and this is untold, right? After every war, there is peace. After every drought, rainfall. After destruction, construction is inevitable. Thereafter, the environment, due to its resilience power, regenerates by itself because of the unknown hidden powers of the omnipresent. Means there will be a time when God will intervene, Paramatma will intervene, and some Shaktis will be released in the earth because of those Shakti or divine energies. The world will regenerate, but there is time to it. And this is the ending part. Like we have discussed Sanatan Dharma. Then the last part is the Rishis are the oldest of all in following the path of peace, truth, love, and compassion. It was then known as Jyoti Marg, the path of light. Sanatan Dharma has been carved out of pure Jyoti Marg to cater to the masses. It is here to stay forever. Jyoti Marg and Sanatan Dharma. He is describing that. The ancient rishis are the oldest human beings to have God realization after the earth was formed slowly over a period of years, more than 2.5 crore. It was next to impossible to realize God because the geographical conditions were extreme. This we have discussed many times. In solitary existence and minimum outside help, they meditated in deep forests amongst wild animals and excessive rain and snow. Their spiritual progress was very slow because of short span of each life, yet they continued their search and quest. They only meditated amongst the richest forests and diverse flora and fauna, and continued their penance as peace and silence, shanti and mourn. All their inner strength stemmed from the power of altruistic thoughts and past good deeds. However, with passage of time, forests dwindled and population increased. When this phenomenon occurred, the systems and previous simple methods of God realization had to be made a bit more demonstrative. A few rituals and formal practices were added to make a direct connect between the worshipper and the worshipped. Nonetheless, Sanatan Dharma will purify your body, mind, and soul. It will finally take you to the path of meditation, dhyan, samadhi, and shanti and mourn. The union of Jivatma and Atma takes place and they are united once and for all. What is everlasting and eternal is duly recognized by their union. So it's a complete circle or it's a complete cycle that Amaraji has spoken from how and before the earth was formed and before we were born and the intermediate period we are in and then how we can go back and the importance of world reformation. So from my side this is over. If you have had any questions to ask or if you thought you would like me to speak about it, I'll speak. But it remains one of my very profound meditations or communion with Amaraji. And like I said, he's too profound and sober. I could not have said anything more than this. One question or one curiosity you could say is my relationship with Amaraji. Since they speak so less, since they are see, these are the souls who never got corrupted. So they are of highest excellence or highest spiritual attainments because once the soul gets corrupted, or once the soul declines itself by choosing to be in Maya and then getting lost, the whole process has to be gone through, and then again we rise to divinity. So Amraji is not that. I have always found him to be very quiet, very quiet. जो ये शांति का जो इन्होंने मुझे अनुभव दिया और बताया, ये उस अवस्था में है. He is there. So when my soul connects to him, it is uh, only of this kind of transference is the word. And he has of course mentored me, he has said such wonderful things, but like हमेशा excellence, हमेशा topmost बात होती है. He's not spoken to me anything about I mean, not that others are less, but I feel it is because he came so much before others and he's experienced that Shanti and other things, and his work in the world is of a reclusive, unknown soul. So my interaction, my um, relationship, or my connection, I would say is the right word, is always something of this level. The reason is that their constitution is this. This is who they are, and I strongly believe that the biggest, or at least the biggest contribution, I don't know whether I should use the word biggest. Biggest means a huge deal, you could say. I feel when I was for years trying to meditate and I didn't get any success, or my success rate was very low. But when Amraji came, and I did not know he has come into my life, it was very later he told me. It was like he came and told me, I'm Amara. Maybe for 10 years I didn't know he was guiding me. And suddenly I was feeling my life is really picking up, and what I thought maybe, all the Purusharth is bearing fruit. But now I can say definitely it is him, because he didn't feel it was time for me to know him. So I only look at them as जैसे मैंने कहा गंभीर, मौन, शांत, and their realization of God has been like this. And it is a fact. They know, they have experienced God's presence a lot. So I have only prayed to him to help me in my meditation. So that's why he makes me write very profound things. And I always feel that I become very quiet, because this is my way of showing him respect. जब कभी आप किसी ऐसे हस्ती से मिलते हैं या ऐसे व्यक्ति से मिलते हैं जिनके लिए आपको बहुत ज़्यादा आदर होता है, तो मौन सबसे अच्छी भाषा होती है. और वो समझते हैं, क्योंकि शब्दों की वहाँ ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. When they have said that, yesterday I think, I don't know where, I don't remember. Like they have said that they were very happy when I was born. And if I see, and I didn't know that they were happy when I was born, because they know you who you are. They've been watching me over many lives, but it's only now I have known them. Or maybe I've seen them. I mean, we don't know. They have come as roaming saints and sadhu, as if we could have recognized them. And like you asked me what all I know about him, what do I think of him? I know him that he's taken so many lives, and every time he's come as an agyat person. Probably this is the only time we have known him, and someone must have documented him. Who knew him? I mean, कौन इनको जानता था? कोई भी नहीं. सो वी कैन ऑल डू दैट। मन में हम हमेशा उनके लिए, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, बहुत दिल से कह नहीं सकते कितना मन ऐसा होता है कि हम इनको किस तरह कहें कि आपने हमारे लिए बहुत किया। बहुत नोबिलिटी है इनमें, बहुत उदारता होती है और बहुत पेशेंस होता है। इन्होंने मेरी परिभाषा सारी बदली है, क्योंकि मैं शायद समझ रही थी, पर दुनिया में आके मुझे किसी ने नहीं कहा ये अच्छा है, ये करेक्ट है। तो ये बहुत अच्छी बात बताई कि तुम तो 3 साल की थी तभी तुम अपनी जिसको हम बोलते हैं प्रतिभा या प्रभुता दिखा रही थी, किसी ने समझी नहीं। तो इसका मतलब ये वे हैं, दे आर ऑल्सो लाइक दैट। और रिजिलियंस जो बोला है कि बार बार हम हारे या ऑपोजिशन इन द सेंस की विरोधी शक्तियां बहुत हैं। ऐसा कोई भी नहीं है जिसने परमात्मा को ऐसे जैसे हाईवे बना हो और आप चले गए हो। सबसे पहली बात तो ये कि अपनी प्रारब्ध को ही जीतना इतना मुश्किल होता है, अपने कर्मों को ही भोगना मुश्किल होता है। संचित कर्म इतने दबे होते हैं, वो आते हैं। सबसे बड़ी जो शक्ति जो विरोधी है वो अपने मन है। अपना मन ही कह देगा नहीं करना है, नहीं होता। हमारे अंदर इच्छा शक्ति नहीं होती है। तो अगर हमारे पास पुण्य ही नहीं है तो हमारे अंदर वो लॉ भी नहीं इतनी तेज होती है। इसलिए वो कहते हैं कि पुण्य करो, ध्यान करो, क्योंकि ध्यान पुण्य है। मैं वो कह रही हूँ आपसे कि मेरी तो परिभाषा ही बदल दी। हम लोग दान पुण्य किसको बोलते हैं? गरीबों को खाना दो, ये करो, पैसे दे दो, या किसी को कंबल बांटो, ऐसे वी ऑल स्टार्ट लाइक दैट, राइट? और वो कहते हैं कि ध्यान करना पुण्य है। अब उन्होंने समझाया ना कि तुम शांति यानी अशांति मत करो धरती पे। वो बोल रहे चांटा भी पड़ रहा है पर बहुत अच्छे से पड़ रहा है कि तुम अशांति करते हो। दुनिया को क्यों इतना हिला रखा है और इतने मूर्ख हो कि जिस चीज के लिए भाग रहे हो वो कभी भी शांति और पूर्ण सुख और शांति देने ही नहीं वाली हो। मूर्ख हो। मैंने कहा ना, वो हमारी बहुत इज्जत करते, मूर्खों की भी इज्जत करते। वो कभी नहीं कहते तुम इतने महामूर्ख पैदा क्यों हो गए हो। क्योंकि हम खुद अपने आप अपने मर्जी से वो खड्डे में गिरने के लिए चले आते हैं। हम कहते हैं हम गिरेंगे पर हम सुधरेंगे नहीं। ये कर रही है दुनिया कि सुधरने के लिए तैयार ही नहीं है। तो फिर वो कहते हैं अच्छा चलो खड्डों में गिरो, रो। उनको दिखता है कि ये महामूर्ख है ना। तो इनका कहने का तरीका बहुत प्यारा होता है, जैसे फूल की तरह भाषा है, कोमल भी हैं, बहुत अच्छे हैं। तो वो ये तो नहीं कहते कि तुम सब मूर्ख हो। वो थोड़ी सी एक दो कुछ उदाहरण दे देते हैं, फिर कहते देखो उसको, देखो वो कितना अच्छा है, तुम भी कोशिश करो। पर उनकी आंख से देखो, कई बार सोचते वो दुनिया को कैसे देखते होंगे कि कितने लोग हैं जो अज्ञान में हैं, पर वो कभी होप नहीं छोड़ते, आशा नहीं छोड़ते। वो कहते ना एक भी हुआ ना उसी से बहुत कुछ हो जाएगा, क्योंकि उनको पता है ये अपना अज्ञान अभी नहीं छोड़ने को तैयार है। जो कल मैंने कहा कि हमारा अज्ञान जाएगा ही नहीं, क्योंकि हम नहीं छोड़ना चाह रहे उस अज्ञान को। तो गुरु कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते। तो वो कहेंगे अच्छा थोड़ा थोड़ा बदलो, या थोड़ी सी अपनी बुराइयां कम कर लो। पर बुराइयां भी लोगों की जो उन्होंने अविद्या बोला है वो बहुत मुश्किल से छूटता है। जमा तो बहुत हो गया, जो बोल रहे हैं जन्मों से जमा कर लेते हो, भर भर के अज्ञान इकट्ठा कर लिया। अब वो गठरी को खोलो करो, वो कौन करेगा? तो जैसे आदि शंकराचार्य जी ने इतना हमें कहा कि तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम तुम्हारा अज्ञान है ना। पर इतना जैसे बोला, इतना स्वार्थ कोई छोड़ दे, इतनी अपनी बुराइयां छोड़ दे, इतना अपना अहंकार छोड़ दे, वो नहीं होता लोगों से। तो ये जो हमने बात की वो बड़ी एक्सक्लूसिव बात है। वो थोड़ी सी कोई दिव्य आत्माएं होंगी, पुण्य आत्माएं होंगी, पर फिर भी अगर हमने यहाँ सत्संग किया और हम सब लोग इतने शुभ मन से बैठे हैं, तो वातावरण तो बहुत अच्छा हुआ। बस इतना ही कह सकते हैं कि सब अपने आप को ही करें, सुधार कर लें, है ना। और वो कभी भी नहीं कहेंगे कि हम अज्ञानी हैं, वो कभी नहीं कहेंगे तुम करो, वो कहेंगे ये अच्छा है, ये अच्छा नहीं है। थोड़ी सी इधर जैसे बताया ना, अपना कभी अपना तो वो कहाँ बताया अपने बारे में, वो मुझे आगे कर देते हैं, है ना।
Ma, you had mentioned that Amraji was saying whatever good is inside, we must take that out and manifest it. Could you elaborate a little bit about what exactly you meant?
Yeah. It's like obviously everyone knows what's good inside us and what is not. So what is not should be given up, and what is good we must do that more. Means, say if someone has good qualities, but they or she they or he, like someone has not harnessed it, so you have to repeat that a lot and consciously do that. So then that becomes a nature. See, most of our actions, in fact almost all of our actions, mostly, are from a subconscious mind. Consciously no one wants to make a mistake, consciously no one wants to do anything that is not good. But then the subconscious and the unconscious mind is far more powerful than the conscious mind. And that is the depth of the mind where we can't reach. And we are a slave of our, that means old patterns, old habits. That's where the problem is. So if we can understand, yes, these, they are very tough. Our old habits are very tough. So it takes effort, but work on that. Even if it takes a lot of time to do that. So whatever you think that's good in you, you must do. Right? If there are no questions, I would always like to conclude, or we can repeat a few good things which which are your lines, like you takeaways, you could say. If everyone says, or at least a few of you say, then when you go home you can easily repeat them. Something that resonated.
एक और आपने जो बताया है, जो हम लोग बच्चों में या छोटे बच्चों में या आसपास हम पिन पॉइंट या पहचान नहीं कर पाते किसी विशेषताओं के, वो बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि पहले तो ये विशेषता मिलती ही दिखती कम है, और अगर कहीं मिली है या दिखी है, चाहे अपने में ही किसी समय हो कि अरे ये तो मैं अच्छे से कर लेती हूँ आगे से, तो उसकी तरफ ध्यान ज़रूर देना चाहिए। और भी बहुत कुछ, ये थोड़ा थोड़ा जो,
और ये बातें नई भी तो है ना, बहुत न्यू है, ये सब चीज़ें अच्छी लगती हैं कि हमारी यानी हमारा कोई एक्शन कितना फार रीचिंग है, ये हमने विश्व कल्याण किया। अगर हम ध्यान करते हैं तो हमारा वातावरण कितना स्वच्छ हो रहा है, और जिसमें जीवन है, यानी पौधों में जीवन है, उनको हमने तंदुरुस्त किया, क्योंकि वो जब ऑक्सीजन सबको देंगे तो वो ऑक्सीजन किसी को लाइफ देता है, जिंदगी देता है। तो ये साइकिल है, देखो। और इसका उल्टा ये है कि जब मैं कोई भी नकारात्मक, नेगेटिव कुछ भी चीज़ सोच रही हूँ, तो वो दूसरे को टच करेगी, कहीं ना कहीं टकराएगा मेरा विचार, और उसको वैसा बनाएगा, अगर वो केयरफुल नहीं है तो। ये इन्फेक्शियस वर्ड यूज किया है, ये वर्ड था इन्फेक्शियस। तो ये दोनों ही चीज़ इन्फेक्शियस होती है। यानी अगर मैं कॉन्स्टेंटली एक अच्छा जीवन जी रही हूँ, मैं किसी की परवाह नहीं कर रही हूँ, और मैं अच्छा ही जीवन जिए जा रही हूँ, राइट, तो लोग मुझे देख रहे हैं, और ये इन्फेक्शियस है। तो इसीलिए हम सबको अपनी एक, जैसे कहते हैं ना, धारा पकड़ लेनी चाहिए कि ये मैं, जैसे कई लोग आप में से एक दो दिन इन दिनों में भी कह रहे हैं ये मेरा डिसीजन है, अब मैं यही करूँगा या करूँगी। तो हमको दूसरों को नहीं देखना है। जो वर्ल्ड रिफॉर्मेशन से अगर हम इसको कनेक्ट करते हैं, तो वर्ल्ड रिफॉर्मेशन कैसे होगा जब हम कंटिन्यूसली कुछ अच्छा नहीं करेंगे हर लाइफ में। गेट इट? तो बड़े लोग बड़ी बात करते हैं, यानी अमरा जी हमसे हमेशा परफेक्ट और हाईएस्ट बात बताएंगे कि एक चीज को अच्छा समझ लिया, उसको लाइफ लॉन्ग करो, क्योंकि आप किसी को प्रभावित कर रहे हो, आज नहीं तो कल उसको इम्पैक्ट होने वाला है। और खासकर छोटे बच्चों पे तो ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट होता है, यानी जो छोटे हैं हमसे, या खासकर छोटे बच्चे। आपने छोटे बच्चों को बीच में लाया, तो मैं बता रही हूँ कि छोटे बच्चे कभी भी हमारे कहने पे वो नहीं करते जो हम चाहते हैं। रिमेम्बर, मोस्टली नहीं होता है, मत करो मत करो सब होता है, पर जब वो हमें ऑब्जर्व करते हैं, जिसका हमें नहीं पता होता है कि उन्होंने हमें ऑब्जर्व कर लिया, वो बहुत पावरफुल इम्पैक्ट है। सो जो ये मेड अप कॉन्डक्ट है, जैसे हम लोग आर्टिफिशियल कॉन्डक्ट जो दुनिया को दिखाते हैं, इसलिए लोगों को वो असर नहीं करता है, क्योंकि सबको पता ही आर्टिफिशियल है। तो सादगी है, सच्चाई है, जो उन्होंने कहा, सिंसियरिटी रखो अपने प्रैक्टिसेस में भी, सिंसियरिटी रखो सब लोग, कि हम इसलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि ये अच्छा है, ये मुझे करना है। तो वो इम्पैक्ट बहुत लास्टिंग होता है, और बहुत लोगों को, ज़्यादा लोगों को टच करता है वो। यानी जैसे बोलते, बी ट्रूथफुल टू योरसेल्फ। तो जब हम ध्यान करते हैं, या जब हम, जैसे इन्होंने कहा कि ध्यान करना सीखना ही पड़ेगा, तो ध्यान सीखने का भी एक, क्योंकि कुछ नए लोग भी हैं, अगर किसी ने ये नोट नहीं किया तो आप सोचो, हम जब डिसाइड कर लेते हैं कि ये मुझे लाइफ लॉन्ग करना है, यानी मेडिटेशन एक प्रैक्टिस है, एक मन की प्रैक्टिस है, जो ये 2 दिन करके 2 दिन छोड़ के नहीं होने वाली। पहले तो है कि करनी नहीं, सबको होता है, ये कौन करेगा, इसमें होता क्या है, कोई कर चुका है, आ चुका है इस तरह, ठीक है। सो एक तो है कि लाइफ लॉन्ग करनी पड़ेगी हमको, और ये नहीं कि मुझे मुश्किल है, आई लव इट। जैसे एक्सरसाइज हम लाइफ लॉन्ग करेंगे, तो मेडिटेशन जब हम लाइफ लॉन्ग करते हैं उसका इम्पैक्ट बहुत फार रीचिंग होता है वो। तो हमको देख के कोई प्रॉपर स्ट्रक्चर्ड मेडिटेशन ना भी करे, पर अब सोचो हम क्या करने वाले हैं, हम पूरी लाइफ उसके अराउंड वर्क करेंगे, विल वर्क अराउंड इट, कि ये मेरी लाइफ है, मैं सुबह ही कर पाऊंगी, ऑब्वियसली मैं ऐसे ऐसे करूंगी, मुझे इतने बजे उठना पड़ेगा। फिर नेचुरली आप एक रात पहले जल्दी सोएंगे, फिर आप कहोगे कि नहीं ये तो ज़्यादा खा के ज़्यादा बोल के तो ये होता ही नहीं, मन में एग्रीवेट हो जाती हूँ, तो उस दिन तो मन कहता है मैं ध्यान ही नहीं करूँगी, गुस्सा चढ़ रहा है, ये सब जो एक बिगनर्स का प्रॉब्लम होता है। तो आप क्या करोगे, आप अपने स्वभाव को चेंज करोगे। फिर आप बाद में आपको लगेगा कि इतना इतना रिपीट किया, कुछ असर ही नहीं हुआ, फिर आप कहोगे मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ, क्यों बोल रही हूँ। आपका प्राण बच गया, तो जो आउटवर्ड जा रहे थे वो इनवर्ड हो जाते हैं। दूसरा, ये एक स्टेज के बाद ये बिगनर्स का प्रॉब्लम है, क्योंकि कुछ शायद बिगनर्स भी हैं इसमें, इस ग्रुप में। पर जब बिगनर नहीं हो, थोड़े से आप इंटरमीडिएट स्टेज पे आ जाते हो, वो आपकी ज़रूरत हो जाती है, इसके बिना आप नहीं रह पाओगे, क्योंकि इतना पीसफुल टाइम आपको पूरे दिन में नहीं मिलने वाला है, गारंटीड है, गारंटीड है, इतना पीसफुल नहीं होएगा। और लाइक मेडिटेशन हील्स, हमारे साथ बहुत कुछ होता है, कभी हमारा मन बीमार होता है, कभी शरीर बीमार होता है, कभी आत्मा भूखी होती है, तो कभी शरीर की कोई डिमांड होती है, बहुत कुछ चाहिए हमको। वो सब संतुष्टि जिसको हम बोलते हैं, सेटिस्फैक्शन, कंटेंटमेंट, ग्रैटिट्यूड, थैंकफुलनेस, फॉरगिवनेस, मर्सी, ये सब ध्यान से आता है। ऑफ कोर्स कोरिलेशन इसका चैरिटी, पायस एक्ट से भी है, अच्छे कर्म भी करेंगे, पर जब अंदर ही विचार ही नहीं आएगा तो वो कर्म भी नहीं होते। यानी जैसे एक छोटी सी बात है, सबके लिए है ये बात, कि एक इंसान की फितरत होती है, वो जोड़ता बहुत है, यानी होड़ बहुत करता है, यानी जितना शौक उसको संचित करने का, शायद ज़्यादा हिंदी हो जाएगी होर्डिंग का होता है, संचित का, उतना देने का नहीं होता है। पर कभी किसी को समझ आ जाए कि देने में बहुत सुख है, और बहुत एक फ्रीडम एंड एक बहुत जॉय इज द वर्ड, आनंद है, एक इनडिस्क्राइबेबल पीस है, यानी डोंट होल्ड, डोंट डू दिस, क्योंकि आपको ये भी अनुभव होगा कि जो एक्चुअल में ज़रूरत है वो भगवान दे रहे हैं, अपने आप आके खड़ी ये चीज़। तो ये सब एक्सपीरियंसेस हमको कब होते हैं, जब हम अपनी लाइफ को बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा बना लेते हैं, और ये हर किसी के बस की नहीं है, क्योंकि इतनी एफर्ट लगती है टू बिकम मोर इनवर्ड, या ऐसा। तो ये एक नेचर बन जाता है हमारा, तो जिसको करना है वो करेगा, और उसको अपनी लाइफ पूरी चेंज करनी पड़ जाती है। मैं नहीं कहूँगी सब लोग करो, पड़ेगी, तुम करो करो, ये अपना निर्णय होता है। सो अच्छा है, करना चाहिए सबको। तो बताऊंगी कि जो ध्यान करता है उसको उसका स्वभाव ही अलग होता है एक्चुअली, वो पानी की तरह बहता है, ऐसा रुकेगा नहीं, अटकेगा नहीं, किसी के लिए कुछ भी नहीं कहेगा। और जो बड़ा और आगे कोई चले जाते हैं, फिर उनको किसी की परवाह नहीं होती, उनको संसार की कोई परवाह नहीं होती, इन द सेंस ये नहीं कि वो लोग ऑब्स्टिनेटली होके जान के उनको ओवरलुक करते हैं। मीन्स हमारी प्रायोरिटी इतनी हो जाती है कि लोग हमको क्या कह रहे हैं, लोग हमारे बारे में क्या सोच रहे हैं, लोग हमारे बारे में क्या टाइटल्स दे रहे हैं, कोई परवाह ही नहीं है, हमको ज़रूरत ही नहीं है, क्योंकि हमारा आगे का काम तो बहुत बचता है, हमको तो वो करना है ना। सो करना चाहिए, मैं ऐसा कहती हूँ, क्योंकि इससे बड़ी कोई प्रैक्टिस भी नहीं है। मन कभी शांत नहीं होता। आई एम नॉट सेइंग पूजा पाठ नहीं करो, सब कुछ करो, पर ध्यान कुछ और ही स्टेट में ले जाता है हमको, राइट? हाँ, कन्विंस्ड है। या एक्चुअली आई मीन आई कैन गो ऑन एंडलेसली। इतनी सारी हमारी डिजीजेस जाती हैं, यू नो दैट, बॉडी की डिजीजेस चली जाती हैं, our bodies become so much better, and all the good thoughts, at least I get all my inspiration in meditation. Matlab meditation doesn't mean that formal, but a peaceful state of mind, a state of being in communion with divine.